Good evening, everybody. My name's Dan, and I'm from Wilkie, Connecticut. I grew up here. I'm 52 years old, and I'm here to tell you a little bit of my growing up.
Hi, my name's Ryan. I'm 23 years old. I'm from Wilkie, Connecticut. Here to tell a little bit about me from beginning to end here.
I'm Tim. I'm 24, and I was born in Wilkie, Connecticut. I got 3 sisters and a mother and father. And my childhood when I was growing up was pretty average. You know, I loved playing sports, loved hanging out with my friends, going to the movies, and you know, everything that an average kid likes to do.
My name is Thomas. I am 28 years old. I grew up in Wolcott. I'm currently a resident in Wolcott right now. Grew up in a great family, you know, a big family, which was great. You know, had a lot of family activities growing up, and you know, when I was a kid, you know, my parents, you know, they raised me the right way.
Hi, I'm Dylan. I'm 18. I grew up most of my life in New York.
Childhood, let's see. From, of course, what I can remember was fantastic. I have 2 awesome parents that love me very much. It's from a big family. We were always out doing things. We had spaghetti dinner every Sunday.
You know, it was fun. Elementary school was great. Always got good grades. Right into middle school, and it was typical of any childhood.
We had probably 15 to 20 kids that came outside and played, and we were always involved in some kind of a sport. We were either playing baseball, football, basketball, but we were very active.
Whether it be hanging out with you know, with some of my buddies and stuff like that when I was a kid, you know, we'd always go hiking or fishing or whatever it was. You know, I always had something to do and you know, good times doing it.
I was carefree, you know, didn't have a care in the world. All I had to do was be a kid.
My parents divorced before I was even old enough to remember. I was still a baby. My mother took me and ran off to Alaska.
Now I'm hanging out with my friends. I'm playing sports. I'm just living the dream. And, you know, this is like, and I'm only in 7th grade, and, you know, everything's good. Life's great. Doing good in school. Can't complain about anything.
As I was growing up, you know, I always had to be a part of something, and I always was hanging around with that many people. It wasn't hard to find somebody to hang around with, and you know, I started playing athletics at a young age because that's all we did as kids, and you know, I grew up to be a pretty good athlete, if I should say so myself.
You know, through middle school, you know, I wasn't really the popular guy, you know, and stuff like that. But like I said, you know, I had my select few of friends and stuff like that, you know. But as I started coming up into the high school area, you know, I started playing high school football. You know, you play high school football, you're looked at, you know, not only as just like a jock or something like that. You know, you're looked at, you know, you're looked up upon, you know, because you wear that jersey. You know, you get that sense of pride in you when you wear that jersey.
You know, there was nothing better than you know, getting up at the plate and hitting a nice shot out in the right field, and you know, the feeling coming from you know, the good things as a kid, you know, playing sports and everything.
You know, in school I was always straight A's, honor roll. You know, I was in the advanced math classes. Accelerated at pretty much anything I tried to do.
Pretty much, you know, I came from a great family, raised properly, you know, told to do the right thing, do unto others, you know, as others do unto you.
Never want to smoke a cigarette in my life. Never want to do a drug in my life. Everything's going my way. So then, you know, the friend that I'm skateboarding with towards the end of 8th grade, he's hanging out with older people from town. So we're hanging out and we're up in his attic, and he also, you know, he wants to smoke. He wants to smoke marijuana. So I say no. Of course, why would I not say no? which was fine. You know, he's not doing it on the regular. I don't think it's terrible. I just figured I say no, that's it. So I say no the first 3-4 times. Then finally I give in. And I honestly couldn't tell you what made me give in. Maybe just him sitting there. I don't even think it was interesting. I just did it because because it was there, and I was bored.
I got into this little incident when I was a junior in high school. You know, this is the truth about the situation that I'm going to talk about. You know, I got thrown off the football team my junior year because of a hazing incident. But that really killed me inside. You know, it hurt a lot. And, you know, it only took a couple months after that, you know, for me to start, you know, drinking, you know, smoking weed, getting stuck in those predicaments. You know, the cool people are doing it. You know, it's okay to do it. You know, and you know, for me, it took my world by surprise. You know, for a while I was able to just, you know, smoke weed and drink. I'm not saying that that's good, because by no means at all is it good.
You know, now, not that we're doing it all the time, but hey, I tried it, so if it's there, it's there. So, you know, and that's how it started.
And as I got older, I started playing high school sports. I was interested, and I ran cross country one year, which was totally out of the realm of what I thought I'd ever do. And I signed up, and I made varsity baseball as a freshman. And that's when the trouble started, the partying started, and I went from alcohol to a full-blown heroin addict after being prescribed a medication for pain.
I crushed my finger when I was working for this heating and air conditioning company, and I got 16 stitches across my finger, and the doctor prescribed me Oxycontin. And from that moment on, my life was ruined.
You know, I played baseball. I love sports, fishing, everything a normal kid does. And unfortunately, when I was in high school, you know, I ended up getting an injury. You know, I went to the doctor, and the doctor prescribed me painkillers, and you know, it was downhill from there. You know, and it. You know, I started taking them as the doctor prescribed, and then it spiraled downhill. You know, I ended up, you know, obviously going from getting them prescribed to going on the streets for it, and you know, it took everything away from me.
I went from getting prescribed it to buying them on the street, and you know, to doing heroin and, you know, just stuff that I couldn't even fathom when I was a kid. You know, playing sports, being a hard worker, you know, the way my parents brought me up, you know, it wasn't in the cards when I was a kid, you know. But when this happened, like I said, I got addicted to the oxy. It was a matter of the first script, boom, addicted. I just had to have that high, had to have it all the time. When you wake up, it's the first thing you think about, and you can't stop thinking about it. And
just my whole life, I was around drugs and alcohol and everything, and it really affected me. It really took a toll on my mental and physical well-being, because my mother used to be a junkie, and she, no exaggeration, she would beat me within an inch of my life, maybe once or twice a week. And I always had health problems. I never did well in school because I'd worry about what would happen when I got home.
And then this just progressed me real quick from then freshman year started. So now I'm experimenting with alcohol and marijuana. Then that summer comes, I'm experimenting with cocaine. Then next summer comes, I'm experimenting with ecstasy. I'm experimenting with pain medications, different kinds of prescription pills. I mean, so much so to where everything in my life just spiraled right down.
You know, I lost everything. I stopped having a passion for sports. I stopped really, doing anything that I love to do anymore. It stole everything from me.
Kicked out of school, high school, junior year. Don't care, don't want to go to school, don't want to do nothing, just want to party. And that's pretty much what I did.
And finally, when we moved back to New York, once again, transferred into a different school. Didn't do well. I got in trouble every day for hitting kids because that's what I was around. I was around violence and drugs and alcohol, and I was out of control. And my next door neighbors were big smokers, drinkers, and druggies, and they'd always impose it on me. And just the pressure I felt was overwhelming, and it had a big toll on my mental well-being, and it tore away at me every day.
And it just turned into prescription pills after I started selling marijuana, after I got out of high school to make money. Prescription pills turned into heroin, which I was snorting, which turned into me being a hermit in my room, not wanting to have anything to do with my family. Just totally destroyed my life.
And I gave my life away for this drug. I got chemically addicted to this drug.
All the innocence that you have in your childhood is just ripped away. It rips everything you care about away when you're hooked on something. It steals everything.
We can sit there and stereotype people, say, oh, the drug addict's the guy that you see on the side of the road. Yeah, he's there now, but where I came from, I came from a great family, brought up right, had a house over my head all the time. Thank God for my parents, and where this drug brought me, it brought me to places that I could never imagined as a kid growing up, from whether it be taking stuff that didn't belong to me or just doing downright stupid stuff.
And that's just a fast forward real quick of how everything spiraled downwards.
I can just tell you that it's not worth it. It's definitely not. If you think you could just get a grip of it and say, okay, yeah, I'm good now, it's just not going to happen. I've seen too many sad stories out there, people dying and stuff like that, knowing people who died.
Just drugs, alcohol, all these substances. I had to watch all this happen right in front of me. I had to experience everything happen. A lot of people look at me now and they say, how did you turn out the way you did? Because believe it or not, I'm straight edge. I don't do drugs, I don't drink, I don't use any substances. All these childhood experiences, from being beaten to experiencing what drugs and alcohol does to people's relationships and everything else, including the way they live, made me want to be straight edge. So I never touched a drug, and I never drank. And that's my story.
I would just like to tell you that you can change your life if you focus and pay attention.